Hello, Steve White, TrekBoy89 for Steve Arts89. Well, there's a disturbance in the Whoniverse. The Whovians are very upset, and I don't blame them. The rollout for the new Doctor Who has been announced, and it's not favourable to the UK. It's basically preferencing the US because of Disney Plus, and that's fairly outrageous because it's a British show. It's culturally significant to the Brits, and they've been watching it as appointment television as families for generations. And this is going to change that. Because what they're doing now, to favour Disney Plus, they're going to be showing it on Disney Plus, and that's going to be the preference. So it's going to drop at a convenient time for Americans, around 7 p.m, prime time for them, and it's going to drop everywhere at the same time. So everywhere else gets it at random times, like the UK gets it at 12 a.m. in the morning, Australia gets it at 9 a.m. in the morning. And although Disney, the BBC is keeping the primetime slot for the show, it's going to be streaming before that, and people are going to have basically access to it a whole day before it's on TV, which means the urgency, the necessity to watch it on TV and just watching it as a group, as a family, sitting down, is not going to happen. It's not going to be as relevant or necessary because it's going to be streaming. People can watch it whatever time they want, wherever they want. Families don't have to watch it together now. Kids can watch it when it's convenient for them. Parents can watch it when it's convenient for them. And you may argue, well, that's got some advantages, but it's also got more disadvantages because it stops it being appointment television. It makes it less relevant, less of a communal experience, less of a cultural significant thing, and it's just going to hurt Doctor Who. And also the production is going to hurt it because the reason why this is happening is because Disney is basically bought Doctor Who, and it's like, well, we're going to pay $100 million into your budget, and now you can make a bigger, flashier show for us, and we're going to get preference, and we're going to put it on our show, and we're going to make it into a big hit, because they're thinking like business people, not artists or creative or fans, but they're thinking like business people think, well, if we spend more money, we'll get more, more views and make more money. And that's the same idea that Bad Robot had with Star Trek, and that failed. And the reason why this is going to fail is because they're doing the same thing. Basically, what they thought with that was, well, we'll bump the budgets up from like 50 million or whatever it was for the films to like 150 to 200 million, and we'll spend a bunch of money on advertising, and we'll make it new and flashy, and we'll attract new people, and we'll make $1 billion, and we'll make a bunch of money for the studio. So Paramount paid them 150, 200 million, whatever, for the Star Trek films, each budget, and they didn't make any more money than the older films. They had less people viewing them, and they made about the same amount of money with inflation, but they cost 3 times as much, so they didn't make any money, they lost money. And now they can't afford to make any Star Trek films because they know, from having failed 3 times, that they can't afford to make a Star Trek film with the budget that they have now established as the standard budget for a Star Trek film, because they know they're not going to get enough views, they're not going to make enough money, it's not going to be profitable. So they can't get anyone to pay them to make a Star Trek film. They bluffed Paramount to pay them for 3 films, because they're the production company, Bad Robot's the only people who profited from the Star Trek films because they got paid to make the film. And Paramount paid that money out but didn't make any money. So they can't get anyone to pay them to make the film now because everyone knows they can't make money out of it. Same thing's going to happen with Doctor Who. They've increased the budget now so much, and they may make it big and flashy, but it's not going to attract new people. Star Trek, Doctor Who, they have set audiences, and they're very loyal fan bases, but you're not going to increase them just by having a flashy show and a bigger budget, because the people who don't like Doctor Who and Star Trek have already made up their minds. You're not going to, they're not so easy to convince that just having a flashier show and a bigger budget is going to attract them. It's not going to happen. So Doctor Who's just going to become more expensive to produce. It's not going to have more views, and Disney's eventually going to bow out and say, well, we can't make money out of this, and the show's either going to be cancelled, or the BBC's going to take it back, produce it solely on their own, and they're going to have to do it at a much smaller budget, even if that's still the budget same as what were producing last year for it. It's going to look like a step back and a step down, and that's going to hurt the show. And streaming outside of UK hours and making it a nightmare for people trying to work out how to view the show is going to hurt the show as well. So this is going to kill Doctor Who, or it's certainly going to hurt it, because, I mean, how do you stay up till 12 o'clock to watch it? Like, there's 2 episodes for the first, night. Are you going to stay up till 2 a.m. watching 2 hours worth of shows? Are the people who make content on Doctor Who going to then make that content at 2 a.m. in the morning? And are they going to post it then? Because if they it'll spoil it for the people waiting to watch it on TV, but the people trying to scoop them and get ahead of them will not care and release it right away. So those people are going to lose views. It's a mess for everyone. It's a mess for the audience. It's a mess for content creators. It's a mess for the studios because they're now increasing the budget and making the show more expensive and less likely to be profitable. And Disney just thinks, because they're business people, oh, we can just pay a bunch of money and we'll get a whole new audience of people and we'll make a bunch of money and it'll be great, because that's just how they think, because they're business people. But the reality is, fans know that, you know, Doctor Who has a set fan base, and there's only so much that can expand and, you know, retract and so forth. It's like Star Trek, and you have to work with that. You can't just throw a bunch of money at it and think that you can just get the general audience to just, you know, show up. It's just not going to work that way. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye.